There we go. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. My name is Ryan Gaylor. I'm a distance learning librarian for the University of St. Augustine, and tonight we're going to take a look, relatively quick look, at the various organization and storage tools that are available through the library. Some of the other ones, they are freely available elsewhere, but yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to talk about is how to get organized when it comes to working on a large-scale research project, or just a general research project. And so I think we're going to talk about tonight. Well, first, before we get into everything, I have a couple of announcements that I'd like to make just for upcoming events. Coming up on April 16th, 2020, which is 2 days from now, we have Eric Robinson, our scholarly communications librarian, is going to be doing a presentation about copyright and digital instruction. The day after that, which I believe is a Friday, we have Cures and Curses, a virtual exhibit that's going to be done. That's going to be hosted by our San Marcos campus librarian, Matthew Chase. And then I'm going to be doing another webinar, which is going to be featuring our ebook collection. It's called Ebooks in the Time of Quarantine. That's going to be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. And the end of the month, I think Eric's doing one last presentation called Retaining Authors' Rights for Research Publishing. Now, to get some more information about these upcoming events, check out the library webpage. It's actually like right on the main page. If you look under upcoming events, you'll see some more information about these events coming up. Things like how to sign up for the events, and the links to access the online classrooms for these. I've mentioned in the announcements the Citation Manager's Guide and the Occupational Therapy Capstone Resources Guide. I will share those links with you later, but those are two places that actually might be really beneficial for you to check out after this presentation. This presentation is sort of a kind of an overview. So with a few of the tools that I cover at the very end of the presentation are going to be our citation managers like Zotero, EndNote X8, and Mendeley. If you want to learn more about those as far as how to use them, how to get them set up immediately, then the Citation Manager's Guide is a great place to start. And I'm writing myself a note to not forget to provide that link. I'm going to put it in the chat, as well as the Occupational Therapy Capstone Resources Guide. There's a section in it which is called Documenting Searches, which basically shows you how to set up saving searches using your MyNCBI account, which is through PubMed, as well as through your MyEBSCOhost account. There are actually two short videos there, and again, making myself a note to make sure that I don't forget to drop those links for you over there in the chat. So give me 1 minute, make a note. I thought I had them ready for you, but I can just get them off the page right before we close out tonight. Okay, so let's go to the agenda, what we're going to talk about. I don't really imagine this going too late tonight. I think I'm going to be able to cover everything, hopefully about 30, 35 minutes. Our agenda tonight is going to just be talking about getting organized, and we're going to talk about saving files, backing up files, using cloud storage, things like that. Also understanding database storage accounts. Some of the ones that I'm going to feature talk about a little bit is the MyEBSCOhost account, which is an account that is that's provided through EBSCO databases. And then your MyNCBI account, which is brought to you by PubMed, which is the fantastic biomedical resource. It's one of the best that there is around, and the personal account is super useful. And then I'm going to cover briefly the My Research account, which is available through ProQuest. And then citation managers I mentioned before, EndNote, Zotero, Mendeley, and how they're useful. And then if we have enough time at the end, give a couple questions. So let's go. So getting organized. What are some of the benefits of being organized? Well, first and foremost, if you're like me, it's saving time. And being organized, that's, saving time, that's paramount. When it from a researcher perspective, and if you're thinking about the library, when you're sitting down to let's say start a research project, you're going to be pulling together, sitting down, thinking about your search, extracting keywords, things like that, and then putting a great keyword search together, searching it using Search USA or one of our other tools, and then you find a couple articles, and then you lose that search. All of this time that you've put together trying to put together a good search, or let's just say that you put that search together, and then you have to change that search. And so, being organized and using some of the library's organizational research tools can kind of save you from some of these headaches, really. And so it definitely saves you a lot of time with things like your time management, your frustration level as well. Research projects are definitely stressful enough. You don't want to make them worse, and that's why being organized definitely helps out. It's also good to, prior to starting a large scale research project of any type, to have a particular strategy set in mind, whether it's you're using Pico, Peacock to extract appropriate keywords, or with those keywords, defining them, maybe using additional synonyms on top of those keywords. You'll want to have ways to track searches. You'll want to have a way to save some of your searches. Basically, I think it's a Bob Dylan song, but it's, you want to do all of these things just to know where have you been and where are you going. And last but not least, the awareness of the resources that are available to you is extraordinarily paramount as well. Whether it's a library resource, whether it's a librarian, being organized is knowing your surroundings. And speaking of resources, let's talk a little bit about file storage tools, just to sort of get us started about at the basics of say getting your research organized. These are some great tools to use, simple strategies. And so we'll go a little bit more in this in just a few minutes, but the first one I'd like to bring up is the old standby as far as organizing literature, articles, things like that, is the old standby, the old faithful, the computer desktop folder that we all love. I know it's too super silly, but I know that there are some of you out there that that may not use some of the I guess you could say the more fancier library file storage tools or anything like that, whether it's a citation manager or if it's like a database account or whatever. There are some of us, and I will throw myself kind of into this because I do have a habit of doing this from time to time, is that when I'm pulling articles for a person, I will sometimes just set up a brand new one of these desktop file folders and shovel in articles that I find. And there's nothing Nothing wrong with that. As I always say, when it comes to lots of things, when it comes with research, especially research and getting organized, you know, everybody has their own method, and if it works for you, it works for you, and that's fantastic. And really, the point of tonight's presentation is just to show you that that if an organizational strategy that you kind of have going is working well for you, that's perfectly okay. You can use that, but really the point of the presentation is just to sort of show you some of the other tools out there that might make your life a little bit easier when it comes to this. But this, I had to throw it in there. I was thinking of not including this, but I know lots of students and I know lots of professors, and I definitely have done it myself. The old file folder is the way to keep everything, keep track of your information that you're getting from databases or things like that. I know for a fact, I didn't include it actually in this presentation tonight. I've another presentation that I do on keyword searching I do, but another thing that would go into this file folder really would be your search strategy. I have talked to students many times about, you know, if you want to have your search strategy, you can write it down, you can scan it and add it into a folder, you can open up a Word document and plant your keywords there, play around with your searches, use that as a way to transfer your searches back and forth into databases or search engines. So yeah, I feel kind of silly mentioning it, but it's definitely something that people still use, and there's nothing wrong with it. It works. If it works for you, it works. Dropbox, of course. This is one of the other, this is a fancier tool, I guess. that's a good way to bring that up. Of course, this is a great tool for saving files, backing up files. You know, it's definitely one of the top cloud storage tools out there. Dropbox is very simple. It's a reliable file syncing storage service. It's I would say probably one of the major names in it, aside from a few of the others that I'll briefly discuss real quickly. Google Drive as well as OneDrive. With Dropbox, I think there's 3 different options for Dropbox. There are 2 options for like paying for account space, and then but you can also sign up for a free account, which I believe gives you about 2 gigabytes of free space, which is fantastic. And that's definitely the best way to use Dropbox, really, when you get down to it, is by installing it to your machine or to your device, which then allows you to immediately back up files that are on your computer. Oftentimes, that you can drag and drop stuff into that Dropbox if you want. If you want to make sure the file is there, you can then download Dropbox's mobile app and access files from your machine anywhere and at any time, share files with approved parties as well. OneDrive, so one there down at the bottom. OneDrive is another file hosting product that allows you to synchronize as well as backup files. As a USA student, faculty member, you actually have access to OneDrive via Office 365, and my favorite, which is Google Drive. That one's free to use. Google Drive is I've been using it for years. I think it's and I use it for everything. I use it for work, as far as like working with my colleagues, sharing documents, sharing files, things like that. It happens frequently. I even save pictures, videos, lots of different type of content, and Google Drive is one of my personal favorites, and it's definitely a good way to organize your information for sure. Probably one of the best ways to do it. So just real quick, do we have any questions? I'm going to look up at the chat real quick to see. I see you might have one. Oh, terrific. Thank you. Yes, I absolutely love Google Drive as well. So since we don't have any questions, we have comments. but no questions, which I love the comments, don't get me wrong. I'm going to go ahead and jump back into it really quick. Understanding library database storage accounts. So first thing is, I think what we really need to understand is exactly what because this can be kind of confusing, because Search USA, for instance, is not a database. It's a search engine. It searches the University of St. Augustine libraries databases. But what can be kind of confusing is that the MyEBSCO account is actually built in, which is actually built into Search USA. So the thing is that it's technically, I guess, it's an EBSCO product personal account, I guess would be the best way to say it. One thing I forgot to do before I came to the presentation tonight, and I meant to do it now that I mentioned that, was I meant to check and see if when you create, or let me backpedal. So of course we have Search USA, a search engine, which of course searches databases, and we have a very popular database which is called CINAHL Complete, which is an EBSCO product. I discovered a while back ago, and I asked EBSCO about this, was whether or not when you log in, when you log into your MyEBSCOhost account the first time around, does it log you into the other EBSCO database accounts? Well, I tried it a while back ago, and it actually doesn't do that. It's the same account, right? But it's just in two separate areas. I know it probably sounds kind of confusing. I'll probably have to show you instead. But to define it, basically, it's Search USA, search engine. MyEBSCO host account is kind of built into the EBSCO database, to the EBSCO's search engine. Oh my God, that sounds so confusing. Well, anyway, I'll show you what it looks like in just a few minutes. This is my first day, of course. So again, while Search USA is in a database, it does search databases, and it allows you to create a database storage account. These are free and allow you to store research, and it allows you to store research while you're actively searching for information. I would say at I don't know where you are in your program or anything like that, but I'd say out of anything that I'm talking about tonight, other than maybe one of the citation managers, I think that this is definitely something that everyone should sign up for, is this particular MyEBSCOhost account. This is what I'm going to cover in this slide, is just sort of an overview of it, and then once I finish going through a couple of other products, we're going to break, and I'm going to take you to the actual account and show you kind of how it works. But what it does, which is great, and this is why I really encourage students to take the opportunity to sign up for it, is first, it's free, which free is always great. And it allows you to save articles, modify search history, change different searches that you've done. It allows you to basically save results lists as well, like a full, a whole full list if you need to do that. You can also set things like search alerts. You can save pages from an ebook, things like that, and that can be pretty much housed in your MyEBSCOhost account. And again, the best thing about it is that while you're searching through Search USA, you can save content to this account, to this free account, and it's extraordinarily convenient. I'll show you how it works soon. The next one I want to talk about is the MyNCBI account, which is basically PubMed's version. It's basically PubMed's version of the PubMed's version of the MyEBSCOhost account. So you know, it allows you to do a lot of the same things as well, such as, you know, saving searches, modifying searches, creating search alerts, automatic searching, which is always helpful. You know, especially if you, let's say, if you have a topic that is something that you want to. I was helping a faculty member with this not too long ago, which is where this person wanted to set up a search alert for, let's say, the most recent literature published on a topic. Well, I was able to kind of go in there, set up the search, and then it sets up this this alert that will do a search for you at a particular time of the day, and then that search alert will email you those results. It's really cool, really fantastic. I'll see if I can remember to show you how to set that up. But yeah, it's very helpful, especially when you're in the literature review or the literature searching process, because of course when you're literature searching process, you definitely want to have a lot of literature. So this is a good way to do that. You can also, using the MyNCBI account, create custom filters as well. This is a really interesting feature for searching. You can also share bibliographies with other scholars. Basically, what you would typically do is that you go in and then you make your account, make your saved articles discoverable, and then you would share a unique URL with your partner, or if it's just like another colleague or someone like that, just so they can see articles that that you have found using PubMed, for instance. So yeah, but we'll look a little bit closely at some of those in a bit. And then last but not least, now a lot of databases, I would say the majority have, they have some kind of personal account. I'm only really featuring these three tonight, but if you go to our databases section in the library's website, I'll give you the link to it right now, that you'll actually be able to take a look at some of the other databases that have accounts such as this too. A lot of them do, in fact. Dynamed Plus, they have personal accounts, and nearly just about every database has its own personal account. But I wanted to feature these tonight because these are some of the more popular ones that I think people use the most. So let's see. So yeah, so my research account through ProQuest, again, it's you're seeing a pattern here. A lot of them do very similar things. This one will also save searches. It will save articles. You can create automatic searches, create search alerts, things like that. You can save and modify searches and create RSS feeds, using the account, and we'll take a closer look at it in just a little bit. But while we're there, I'm also going to talk about citation managers really quick. Citation managers, well, actually, I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to take us to these accounts really quick. I thought I had a slide that was right in between that basically said, okay, now it's time to go search, but apparently that one didn't come up. So give me one moment to switch gears, and I'm going to share. You're going to be seeing the USA Library screen in just a moment. Let me know when you see that.
I see it.
Perfect. Okay, so USA Library homepage. Just a side note, our upcoming event section's right here. So if you, for some of the announcements I made previously, if you're interested in signing up for some great future webinars, those are going to be located here. Definitely take a look at them. So let's go and let's do a quick search. I'll do virtual reality rehabilitation and stroke, just a search, just so we can check out and take a look at how to use your MyEBSCOhost account. I don't know why, but every time I think I want to say my MyNCBI account. I feel like I spend more time using that than I do the MyEBSCOhost, but that's just recently. So the MyEBSCO sign-in for your MyEBSCOhost account, when you do a search in Search USA, it'll pop up right here at the top. It's going to be next to folder. Now, if you've, in the past, used Search USA, and you've gone through and you've seen some articles that you liked, and you saw the little file folder icon right here and clicked on it, to save the article, without logging in and creating a MyEBSCOhost account, you can actually go and view the article that you just saved, just like right here, the one I just did. However, once you close this session out completely, then this is completely gone. I've had a few students and faculty members in the past that have forgotten to, or just wasn't aware that MyEBSCOhost account was an actual option to save these searches. They thought, I think, that their library login was what was saving this, but that's not the case. Like, to save those articles that you like in Search USA, you're going to want to sign up for the MyEBSCOhost account again, which is free. It's very simple to sign in. I already have an account set up, so I'm not going to set up a new one tonight. But you can go through the process of creating one. If you have questions, of course, you can always contact us if you're having problems creating an account. It's a pretty quick process getting everything set up and squared away. I'm going to log into my account really quick and kind of show you what, I guess, basics really is sort of how an account is normally set up. Of course, when you sign in, it's not going to take you directly to your account. It's just going to take you back to your search script, the results of your search. Mostly because that's probably what you care about the most. And then to view stuff that you've earmarked for later, you can click on folder up here, and it'll show you the research that you've. These are some of the articles that I've picked up from just kind of setting this up today, just to sort of show you the layout and how it works. Another thing about the account, so I guess it's like kind of cosmetic preference as far as using Search USA. You can set up how you want Search USA and how you want things to appear, whether in your account or in Search USA, or in the Search USA. In your account, as well as how it appears in Search USA. It's a great customized feature. You can do that. Languages. You can update your account by going up here, and of course, if you're not Ryan, which I know you're not, because I'm Ryan, you have to log out of this account and sign into another one here. Most of the time, that's not going to be a problem. What is a problem is the bad joke by the presenter, I guess. But anyway, the layout of this, you have the different types of resources that are in your sort of standard folder that's created. You can make different folders for different resources, or for different projects or something like that. I would suggest, if you want to be organized, if you know you're going to be doing a lot of searching using Search USA, especially if it's for a class or for a particular research topic that you're working on, I think that it's perfectly fine to set up a folder of your own, that might feature stroke rehabilitation, which is the topic that we just did a quick keyword search for, you can set up your own little folder for that down here. So when you're adding articles, you can add some here, and you can transfer those to that. I don't think I added one yet in here. Yep, I did. I'm going to send this one actually. You go to, like, let's say I want to move this article. This is a virtual reality article to my virtual reality stroke rehabilitation folder. I've already selected it down here. And if I want to move it, I can just go to move to. My folder is, of course, like that's the standard one that you get when you log into your account. And then stroke rehabilitation, it'll go ahead and move that article over there for me. So yeah, it breaks down the different content types and different resources that you might find while you're going through Search USA. So these are articles that are saved here, but if I had images, it would say that I had 1 image, 2 images, or videos, and you get the idea. Over here is export. What you would, if you're in your account, your MyEBSCOhost account, and actually this is something I should have mentioned as I was setting up using my EBSCOhost account, is I know students that are in some classes that are working on systematic reviews, for instance. And with a systematic review, it's very systematic as far as like when you have to go through and you have to describe in a lot of detail your search. And as far as like, when you did your literature search with a certain configuration of search terms, how many results were, let's say, duplicates, and how many weren't. Where I'm getting at is that if you wanted to determine duplicates with your MyEBSCO host account, you really need 2 things. You'll need, of course, logged into the account, the results from your search moved over into the folder. I can show you how to do that in a minute. And then the next tool you'll probably need is a citation manager, either of the citation managers that I mentioned kind of at the top, EndNote, Zotero, or Mendeley. And you would use this export button, which you would select, say, if this was one of the searches I did that I exported into my EBSCOhost account, to transfer over into a citation manager to determine duplicates, I would have to go to export and then move all of that data over there. Now, depending on the citation manager, it sort of depends. I know that I don't want to get way too far in the weeds with this, but other citation managers have other ways to do it. But I know that this is definitely something that people have asked me about before, and sort of stumbled upon it when, or stumbled upon the value of the account when they were having to do something like that, which was to locate duplicates. So not only is it a great way to save information, save searches and things like that, but it can also assist you with a very large scale tasks such as a systematic review. So I mentioned that really quick, but yeah, that's kind of for like another deep dive session, I guess, when you get down to it. So go back to the search results here. Really what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to search history. This is actually one of my favorite features of the MyEBSCOhost account, is when you have your search history set up, because it allows you to modify searches as you go along. So let's say type. Oops. So I'm logged in, and it's going to be saving these searches that I've done, if it catches up with me. Oops. All right, this is actually what I wanted to look for, is the saved searches. I know that I've had students in the past mention to me that they don't really like Search and Search USA because when they have to edit pieces of their search, that some are going back to like just starting anew. every time, or going in the advanced search and adding pieces here and there and searching and getting results and moving around. But really the most effective way to change searches and track the different searches that you've done, other than, you know, maybe writing it down or maybe somehow keeping all those different configurations in your head, is by using the search history right here. Because you can revise your search, you can view details about your search, exactly what has been searched, when it was run, and you can also view the results. And you can actually view those results without really necessarily having to click on that. You'll see the number of what it pops up as. Now, the one I did by accident where I misspelled therapy only provides me with this one here. But other little bits about MyEBSCOhost is you can print out your search history if that's something that you'd like to do. I mean, that may be something if you're more of a paper person, which is totally cool, totally fine. Especially if you're working on a systematic review where you're having to track your keyword searching, you know, you may want to print that thing out. You have that. Go back and retrieve searches. You can then save searches and save search alerts as well. I can kind of show you how that works here. I'm going to try to speed it up because I don't want to say too much. I want to save enough time to at least go through the other two before we conclude for the night. So you would name the particular search alert. So I'll do virtual reality, stroke rehab, rehabilitation, and it'll have me save this search. I can also, so I can do it again at some other point. Shows me the databases, shows me when I've saved this search. So if I need to go back, and this is a search that I really like and I want, and you know, I need for future reference, this would be a good way to do that. Real quick, setting up search alerts. I might come back to that in just a bit, setting up the search alerts, or I'll provide some resources for that. But setting up the search alerts or creating an alert, you would go right here and do that. By creating an alert, it'll come up like this, and it'll give you, let's say it's kind of automatically set up an alert starting for me. So the alert, what it does is when it runs the search, it'll email me the results of that search. That's a pretty quick setup. You know, you already have the subject line that you would enter your email, and you can choose the frequency of how many times a day you want it to search, as well as some of the specifics. If you want to do a search a day just for this particular search, the one that I have currently set up, I could set that up now. What I'll do is make it a little bit more interesting is I'll cancel the alert and do, what was I going to do? Actually, no, I'll just do a regular search alert. There's different types, but okay, so it's taken that, and I can do it maybe once a day. I can set it up bi-weekly, or I can do it once a month. And you can set of what the articles published that you want the automatic search to pull for you, whether it's in the last year, or whether 6 months or 2 months, or just recently, or just if you want everything that's coming up or coming down the pike, you would do the no limit. You can set up how it's emailed to you, how it appears in your email. And then, you know, once it's emailed to you, you can then, you know, click on a link that comes in the email, and it'll take you back to your search page, or it'll take you to Search USA so you can view the articles and the information there. So I could do a much deeper dive here, but I'm seeing how much time I have, and I want to go ahead and get through some of the other ones really quick. The next one is in PubMed, the MyNCBI account. I already logged in, but you'll see often it'll say, you know, log in or create a MyNCBI account. And again, it works very similar to what we were just saying. Now, PubMed is in a is undergoing a bit of a change as far as some of its capabilities, its search capabilities, and general layout and design of the database and of so this is going to probably look different in the next year or so. This will be different, but this is kind of how it's set up originally. And these are movable, which I'm embarrassed to find out or to tell you that I just realized that these were movable not too long ago. Never occurred to me to even try it or to customize the page in any sort of way. But anyway, from here you can set up favorite searches. I think I may have one still set up in here. Yes, so you can set up favorite articles and with particular targeting particular collections. Set filters. Now I automatically have the University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences filter, the standard filter there, which of course I set it up on my own end on my account, but you can also have that filter added to PubMed. You know, if you link out to PubMed from the library, that'll come up. The only problem though is that with the new innovations to PubMed, that PubMed doesn't exactly. They used to know everything that we had as far as a collection, but right now they're still working some kinks out. I don't know if it's ever going to be fixed, but you'll occasionally see a search where it says, click here to view at University of St. Augustine, and it may not connect you there or connect you to what you were looking for. And it's just because it's just when they made some changes. I like to say that PubMed used to know us very well, and since it changed, it doesn't know us quite as well as it used to. But of course, if you're ever looking for something and that comes up, you can always contact the library. We're more than happy to help you. But you can track your recent activity. You can turn this on or turn it off, depending on what you're doing. I did some research not too long ago for a professor, and so you're going to see a lot of mesh. It's very great. Definitely very useful tool. Can be very helpful with searching and saving articles in PubMed. The My Bibliography part I was mentioning before. This page has been changed a little bit, but the other bits of MyNCBI haven't yet. But these are some articles that I was working on, and I'm able to save this list of articles and then share the list of articles because I can make my bibliography in my MyNCBI account either private, or I can make it public as well. And so I actually set it to private now, but if I want to make it public so I can share the articles that are in this list, all I have to do is just copy this URL for anyone I want to share the articles that I've been saving. I can copy this URL and share it with that person, and they're able to view everything that I have saved here on this list without any problems. So great tool, great tool. I'm going to go over to ProQuest really quick. You guys can see as I'm going through these different ones. Okay, cool. So in ProQuest,
yes.
Okay, cool. Because for a second I was like, uh-oh, have they not been able to see this the whole time? Anyway, so in ProQuest, you can also set up an account. I always like to mention ProQuest because I feel like ProQuest doesn't get a lot of love. It's one of the databases that SearchUSA doesn't search. I mean, you may find content every now and then, especially if it's or you'll see it pop up, but you may not be able to go to it and access it. But SearchUSA, it's what makes it difficult. Why ProQuest doesn't get a lot of love is because it doesn't work with SearchUSA so much. So you usually have to link out through our results page to go to ProQuest here. But I always try to push ProQuest because I really like it. I think it's a very valuable resource. I'm going to do the same search. Whoa, what's going on there? Communication fail. Well, that was scary looking. Okay. Oh yeah, I also forgot. I should have remembered this. I can do the same search that I did here in Search USA by just clicking on ProQuest. It'll do that search for me. Should have thought of that before instead of just opening the page separately. So anyway, in here, I pretty much very similar way, except there isn't the little folders. How you do it is, this is actually sort of similar to PubMed as far as when you select articles that you want to add to your library. Again, really quick to set up the account. You just go over to the little outline of a human there and sign up for the account. Takes just a few minutes to get it set up and ready to go. And then, once it is ready to go, you can start adding content to it. One way to do it would be, let's see, sorry about that. I'm going to click on the article. And then, where to go? You can do add to selected items, or actually, no, sorry, I read that wrong. Save to my research account. Click right there. And should be still signed in. And yeah, it should be there. Let's go see. I already have one article sitting in there from earlier. And just like the other ones that we viewed earlier, you can set up different folders and things like that, so you can organize your research a little bit better. Let's go. You can also go back to my search. Let's go back. Sorry about that. All right, you can also do like a whole bunch of articles if you wanted to do that by doing the select, maybe 1 through 20. Do the same thing in PubMed actually too. It works that way. And I'll add another one real quick. You can also add it, like I said, by just clicking on or selecting it, check marking it, but we'll add it here to my research folder. And you can create new folder. Just works very similar to all the other tools. It's ProQuest. It looks just a little different. That's why I wanted to point it out. But we can just go and look at our folder. And this is really what it looks like until you start adding additional folders or things like that. Saved searches. I have 4 documents total right now. I haven't set up a saved search or anything like that, so there's nothing that's going to appear in that area. But when I do, like I did in my EBSCOhost account, that information will be there just like it is in Search USA. Other little bits, yeah, manage new folders, things like that, create new folders. There's a citation tool here. I've been asked about this before. I always say to kind of use these things, use your best judgment. I always say that it's probably not the best way to cite information, but it can be a good way to get started. But I kind of stay away from using them most of the time. But that information's there. You can email this information to yourself or to someone else, or give them access by sharing it with them, print out that information, and so on. So real quickly, because I only have a few more minutes left, I'm going to stop sharing and go back to my presentation really quickly. And okey-dokey. All right, our citation managers, we'll finally get to that in just a few minutes. The ones that we support, USA Library, are EndNote. It's the EndNote X8 to be exact. There's now an X9, but currently we're just running the X8, or the post-professional program is. Another one that we support is Zotero. That's actually a personal favorite of of a lot of the library staff is Zotero. And then the other one, of course, that we all pretty much like and think is a really great tool is Mendeley. Zotero and Mendeley are both free and very dynamic tools. EndNote, if you're a post-professional student, you have access to it without any issue. Unfortunately, if you're not a post-professional student, or if you leave the university as a post-professional student, you actually lose access to EndNote X8. You lose access to any information that you save there. So not to say EndNote's is bad. It's a great tool, actually. It's just for, we expect you as scholars to be investigating and researching past your time here at the university. So unless you want to buy a subscription to EndNote, that would be the way to continue that account. But otherwise, Zotero, Mendeley, these are also extraordinarily good options. This is really what they're sort of set up as. In a weird way, they look very similar to what we've been looking at, the different database accounts. And they're kind of set up that way because they are there to store information, really. And it's a very similar layout. But these help you with a little bit more. I definitely encourage you to go and check out the USA Library Citation Manager Guide. I'll provide the link there for you when we're done, because it gives you a little bit more of a deeper understanding of how to use these tools. But really what's great about a citation manager is that you may have these database accounts that you're using and saving information in, and that's fabulous and that's great. And you can access them from different locations. You could also do the same thing with citation managers. If you're not at your particular machine that you normally use, you can log in to a virtual account that comes with these tools and search for articles and select articles and save them. You can do that with PubMed as well. Can't really do it with ProQuest or excuse me, you can do it with all of those platforms. And they kind of work in a similar way. The only difference is that with EndNote, with citation managers, is that what it really does is it gives you, it's a much more, in my opinion, it's a much more efficient way of storing research and keeping everything together. And another perk to it is that it also, in an easier way, allows you to share information much easier as well. And then most importantly, or maybe most important to students, especially while they're writing dissertations or a thesis or anything like that, or just working on a regular capstone project, or paper, is that the citation managers also provide great citations while you're composing. It's kind of one of the great benefits of having one, is that not only does it keep everything that you're collecting from databases and things like that all in one place, all in one area that you can access from any device, but it also takes it one step further and aids you with completing the assignment by helping you with citation and setting up a paper in a particular style or things like that. Mendeley is actually an interesting one. Mendeley was the second one there. The last one, the one that just flipped up, is Zotero. But Mendeley is interesting because Mendeley not only provides you with a place to store your information, you can organize it however you want, similar to these database accounts with folders and things like that. But you can also, with Mendeley, it actually connects you once you sign up and create a Mendeley account. It also connects you to a lot of to Mendeley's open access library. So it's kind of great, actually, because not only are you have access to hundreds of thousands of bits of information through the USA Library, but now you're increasing it by using Mendeley and using some of their some of the information that is from their open access libraries. But all of these storage tools are very useful and can save you a lot of time. It doesn't matter. You can use all of them if you want. As you can see, utilize all of them in some way. But I think if you're if you're starting a large research project, this is a good place to, this is a good presentation to look at and say, okay, this is how I'm going to set up everything, the type of searches I want to do, some save the searches that are most successful, and really learning how to systematically store information that I locate. And yeah, these tools are available through the library, and we love to help you all out, answer questions about them. So always feel free to, you know, shoot us an email or anything like that. Library at usa.edu. I'll give that information to you shortly. But before I add some stuff to the chat, do I have any questions? I'll look in the, I see a couple chats here. Yes, I certainly will. Thank you for reminding me. I'll connect you to those guides really quickly. Just takes a second. I have actually 3 links. One, Citation Manager's Guide, to give you a little bit more depth. I didn't want to go into too much of that because that's basically like a whole other presentation. I was trying to keep the time right. I was trying to go a little bit sooner than this, but you know, you always get chatting a little bit more. It always happens. So that's for citation managers. I'll give you another one for, it's a guide that one of our other librarians created for a course, Occupational Therapy Capstone Resources. And if you look under documenting searches, it actually shows you how to do the save searches and search alerts and things like that. It's a tab that's in there. I was surprised that we don't have this separately. I may have to create a new guide that's sort of dedicated to what we're talking about today. So we have that as kind of a standalone. But yeah, that's some good way to have videos there and kind of show you how to set it up and everything. And then last thing I want to share with you is we always like to do surveys at the very end of our sessions. This is just to sort of assess how we're doing. If you have the opportunity to, please go to the link that I just posted in there. It's the https //ACRL projects link. If you could go there, it takes you right to a quick, I think it's 5 to 6 question survey. It takes just a moment to do. If you could complete that, if you get around to it, that would be most helpful for us as a library. Just sort of assesses how we're doing and how we're helping you and what else, and what we need to do to help you more. So with that, my name again is Ryan Gaylor, and my contact information is there. Best way really to get in contact with me if you want to contact me directly is by my email. It's rgaylor@usa.edu. And if you have any general questions really about whatever what we've talked about tonight, you can contact the library or any of our library staff or team of librarians at library@usa.edu, and they'll be more than happy to help you with any of these. Once again, I want to really thank you all for coming out tonight. Had a blast. This is my first time doing this presentation, so hopefully I got to everything and enough clarification. Anyway, I'll hang out for a few minutes. Thank you again. I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and thanks again. Have a good night.
Ryan?
Yeah, 1 second. I thought I turned this off.